Eaten too much red meat this month. Took one too many car journeys. Not recycled enough garbage. Well, in the near future, when you go to pay for something on your credit card, you could be met with this. Transaction denied. You've reached your CO2 emission limit. It's the new Doconomy Global Climate Action Credit Card.
But instead of introducing a premium credit card with the typical benefits that encourages further mass consumption, Doconomy did the opposite by launching Do Black, the world's first credit card with a carbon limit. Simply put, it's the first credit card ever to stop you from overspending. Not based on your available funds, but rather on the levels of CO2 emissions caused by your consumption.
MasterCard just announced it was teaming up with Doconomy to co-create the future of digital payments. Oh shit. And if you were left in any doubt as to how evil this all is, the credit card is proudly endorsed by Klaus Schwab's World Economic Forum.
Hans, are we the baddies?
This credit card has a carbon emission spending limit.
Enables users to track and measure their carbon footprint from each purchase.
Yeah, I'm really sure Schwab and his billionaire buddies are going to miss Davos next year because the credit card told them they'd already taken 50 private jet trips. No, they'll just buy carbon offsets because they're rich and can afford it, and they're invested in all the carbon offset trading mechanisms anyway. It's like when Bill Gates gives millions of dollars to companies he's invested in and then calls it charity. This has nothing to do with climate change and everything to do with technocratic micromanagement and control of your life.
Track your climate impact and ensures that you reduce it by 50% in line with the UN 2030 recommendation.
The core purpose of Do Black is not only the ability to measure the impact of your consumption, but also bringing it to a direct halt, making it a radical tool against climate change.
By bringing it to a radical halt, they mean that steak dinner you planned for tonight is actually going to be a bug burger made of mealworms, all washed down with an invigorating cup of bugger poop worm poo tea. The science journal Nature also recently touted a carbon allowance credit card that would, quote, entail all adults receiving an equal tradable carbon allowance that reduces over time in line with national carbon targets. The authors call for the program to be mandatory. Carbon units would be deducted from the personal budget with every payment of transport fuel, home heating fuels and electricity bills, and anyone going over the limit would be forced to purchase additional units in the personal carbon market from those with excess to sell. The authors note how mass global compliance with COVID-19 contact tracing apps has greased the skids for all this, and that, quote, people may be more prepared to accept the tracking and limitations related to PCAs to achieve a safer climate as a result. They specifically state that they plan to keep track of your food consumption and lead it to your carbon footprint ration limit. And there you were thinking you'd never eat the bugs. Once you top out your CO2 ration limit, it could be a choice between consuming the crickets or going hungry. But wait, not only could future purchases be dependent on whether you've topped out on your carbon footprint, they're also announcing that credit scores could be based not on the fact that you've abused credit and got yourself into mountains of debt in the past, you know, like they should be, but that they should be based on, get this, browsing history. From the International Monetary Fund website, the use of non-financial data will have large effects on the provision of financial services. Traditionally, banks rely on the analysis of customer financial information from payment flows and accounting records. The rise of the internet permits the use of new types of non-financial customer data, such as browsing histories and online shopping behavior of individuals, or customer ratings for online vendors. You shared an article that the fact checkers weren't happy with. You tweeted a nasty thing about Jeff Bezos. You failed to post the black square for BLM. Now you can't get a loan. Now you can't get a bank account. Now you can't get a mortgage. But don't worry, there's no Chinese-style social credit score for the West. It's all one big conspiracy theory. I've heard dried locusts, ants and beetles are an acquired taste. Well, if the technocrats get their way, you'll be acquiring it very soon. To get exclusive content, early access, behind-the-scenes stuff, and to personally interact with me, please sign up for my community at pauljosephwatson.locals.com. Link in description, and thank you for your generous support.